Hello and welcome to this edition of FYI Weekly, your official source for City of Greensboro news and information. Beginning the week of April 12th, changes to solid waste and/or recycling collection service will be in effect for some Greensboro residents. These changes are being made in order to meet growing service demands and to balance daily workloads for city crews. Approximately 16,000 residents will have a new collection service day or recycling week. This will be promoted in a day change notice and/or new calendar, which has been mailed to impacted households. Other ways to find out if your service day is changing include visiting the city's collection webpage and typing in the address to confirm the service day. Consider signing up for automated phone, email, or text alerts to serve as a reminder. Print a calendar with the new recycling service week. The contact center staff will let you know if your service day is changing. They can also set up automated phone, email, or text alert reminders. The GSO Collects app will send regular collection service reminders to any smartphone. If you currently use the GSO Collects app, your service day will automatically be updated to issue service notifications. For more information, visit the city's website or call the contact center at 336-373-CITY. As part of its effort to add more bike lanes across the city, the Greensboro Department of Transportation, or GDOT, will install temporary bike lanes on Spring Garden Street. The installation is slated for the end of March between Tate and Fulton Streets. Residents are invited to learn more about this Spring Garden Street pop-up project and ask GDOT staff members questions during a virtual meeting taking place on Monday, March 22nd at 6 p.m. The pop-up project will add temporary bike lanes on both sides of Spring Garden Street and remove parallel parking spots on the south side of the road beginning on Saturday, March 29th. If the pop-up is successful, permanent bike lanes will be added when the street is resurfaced later this year. Other portions of Spring Garden Street have permanent bike lanes. This section of Spring Garden Street currently has sharrows, which indicate the street is to be shared by motor vehicles and bikes. To participate in the meeting, which includes an overview of the pop-up project, visit the city's website. For more information on this and other GDOT projects, visit the GDOT section of the city's website. The Greensboro Urban Area Metropolitan Planning Organization, or MPO, has federal grant funding available for eligible government agencies and nonprofits to provide transportation to seniors or individuals with disabilities. Grant applications are due on April 14th. Section 5310, Enhanced Mobility for Seniors and Individuals with Disabilities, will provide an estimated $266,000 in grants. This goes to transit capital or operating projects as identified in the MPO's adopted Coordinated Human Services Transportation Plan. The grant funding is subject to change. The application and project eligibility guidelines are available online. The Greensboro Urban Area MPO coordinates transportation planning for much of Guilford County, including the city of Greensboro and the towns of Oak Ridge, Pleasant Garden, Sedalia, Stokesdale, and Summerfield. The MPO's policy board is made up of elected officials from Greensboro and Guilford County, along with a member of the North Carolina Board of Transportation. For more information or to request a copy of the grant application, visit the MPO website or contact Tram Truong at 336-373-2903. The city developed a partnership with Cone Health to share a series of brief and informative videos designed to inspire you to make better choices when it comes to healthy living. Following these tips is an easy way to help each of us improve our quality of life. Let's take a moment to check out today's news for your health.
The coronavirus pandemic has presented us with a unique and challenging situation. It can create a great deal of anxiety and stress. Anxiety and stress to a limited degree can actually be very helpful. However, taken to a significant degree, stress can create problems for us both physically as well as emotionally. So when trying to manage your stress, there are a number of strategies you can utilize. It is important to really not focus solely on those things we cannot control. In fact, what you should do is have some discussions and think about and even list those things we do have control of. Make it something that you can do together as a family. It's simple as what you're deciding to watch on television, the things that you do during the day, what you're having for dinner. Those may seem like small things that we all don't even think about during the day, but when you're in a time like this, when so much of life feels out of control, those things can feel very comforting. Do not overload on information. It is, in fact, important to understand the facts and keep up to date on to what is going on. However, you don't want to overload by watching television 24/7, staying with the newspaper, all day long. You need to take a break from that information. Think about the things in your life that you've used in the past that have helped you stay calm. Listening to music, or playing a musical instrument, or reading, talking with family members. These are all the same kinds of things that will help you during this challenging time. Think about creating new routines, whether it's games or watching certain television shows. Try some creative, artistic kinds of things that would be fun and unique. Try to incorporate your children into helping you come up with suggestions of things that would be fun to do. It's really important to understand that, again, stress and anxiety is normal. Do not try to just push it away or pretend it doesn't exist. If we try to deny it and push it down, it sometimes can create really cumbersome feelings, and it becomes more difficult to hold it back than it is just to let it out. It's okay to talk about it, it's okay to acknowledge it, and that, in fact, will help you work through it. Look at each day as a unique day. We take it one day at a time. Be very present in that day and make it the best possible day it can be. And tomorrow, creativity takes over, you make an entirely new day. But day by day, you will get through this, and that's the best way you can manage some of the stress and the anxiety that comes along with this.
Mark your calendars for the return of the spring concert series, and several blocks along South Elm Street will be closed to boost local business. We'll have those stories and more news coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. South Elm Street will be closed on Saturdays from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. now through the end of April. This will allow restaurants and retailers to operate in the public right-of-way while providing ample space for pedestrians to maintain social distancing. The 100, 200, 300, and 500 blocks of Elm Street will be closed from Market Street to Washington Street, from Washington Street to McGee Street, and from Martin Luther King Jr. Drive to Lewis Street. These street closures are in conjunction with a previous initiative approved by the Greensboro City Council, which issues special permits to allow restaurants to temporarily expand seating in the right-of-way. Downtown visitors are reminded to practice the 3 W's when they frequent downtown. Wear a cloth face cover over your nose and mouth. Wait 6 feet apart and avoid close contact with people who do not live in your household. Wash your hands often with soap and water or use hand sanitizer. For more information, visit the website for Downtown Greensboro Incorporated. The Mayor's Committee for Persons with Disabilities is accepting applications for the Stephen L. Nyer Memorial Scholarship for outstanding students with disabilities. The deadline to apply is on Friday, April 30th. This year, the committee will award up to $3,000 in scholarships to high school seniors with disabilities and who are enrolling in continuing education, trade school, community college, or a 4-year college or university. The Mayor's Committee for Persons with Disabilities is a nonprofit coalition of businesses, human services agencies, and individuals of all abilities with the mission to create a barrier-free community. The scholarship is named in memory of Stephen L. Nyer, the former executive director of Lifespan Incorporated, a long-term member of the Mayor's Committee, and community advocate for persons with disabilities. For more information, visit the city's website or contact the committee by sending an email. The Opus concert series will return for its spring 2021 concerts in April. Creative Greensboro, the city's Office of Arts and Culture, will broadcast the concerts on its Facebook page and the City of Greensboro's YouTube channel. A Facebook or YouTube account are not required to watch the concerts. Concerts ranging from classical to rock and Espanol and soulful blues will stream on Sundays at 6 p.m. from April 11th through May 2nd. Greensboro's Chief Creative Economy Officer, Ryan Deal, said although we still are unable to return to typical in-person music events, we are pleased to affirm our commitment to this free concert series and to the members of our creative community who help bring it to life. In addition to small groups from the Philharmonia of Greensboro and Greensboro Concert Band, dynamic and talented guest artists will be joining the lineup. The spring 2021 Opus schedule is as follows: April 11th, Africa Unplugged and A Sign of the Times. April 18th, small ensembles from the Philharmonia of Greensboro. April 25th, Los Acoustic Guys and Rissi Palmer. May 2nd, small ensembles from the Greensboro Concert Band. The Opus concert series is presented by Creative Greensboro with support from Fox 8 News. The director of the City of Greensboro's Field Operations Department is days away from retirement. He'll take more than 3 decades of knowledge and experience with him. Coming up after the break, we'll talk to Dale Wyrick and get his take on his contributions over the years. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. Oftentimes, our residents don't know the name of the department to offer city services except if it's fire or police. Other equally important services such as trash collection, pothole repairs, and loose leaf collection are handled by field operations. Joining me now to talk about how this department has evolved over the years and his plans for retirement is Dale Wyrick. He is the director of the Field Operations Department. Hello, Dale. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks, Carla.
Thank you for joining me. So what prompted you to enter into public works, and how long have you been in your role with the city?
Okay. So I started with the city back in 1994, and I started at a superintendent level and working with the transportation department in the signals and signs and markings division. My background was in roadway construction. I actually graduated in '91, went to work for the DOT, became an assistant resident engineer pretty early on and got into roadway construction. So the maintenance and the operations was just sort of a natural fit. An opportunity came available at the city in '94, and I decided to make the change.
Wow, 30 plus years is a very impressive amount of time to be with one organization. For folks who aren't aware, can you give us the landscape and just an idea of how large is the Field Operations Department?
Sure. Our department makes up about 350, or is made up rather, of 350 people. It's got a budget of around $70 million. So we cover everything from trash collection and disposal, recycling collection and processing, roadway repairs, stormwater repairs, tree maintenance, the whole gamut of public works, maybe with the exception of the water and sewer.
That keeps your folks quite busy, and we see the crews out at all times, so I'm sure anyone watching has at some point witnessed the great work that comes out of your department. Several changes over the years, I'm sure, have had to kind of help you switch gears, and recycling and the cost of recycling was one of those. Was that surprising to you?
You know, timing is everything, and it would have been surprising to me. But we just happened to, I think the year was around 2010, 11. We signed a recycling contract that actually got revenue for the city. So for every ton of recyclables that we delivered, we got a flat $30 fee in revenue. So not long after we signed that contract, and that was a 5-year contract, the recycling markets just, they really went down.
Yeah.
So we basically said, okay, let's come up with something that is more indicative of reality in the recycling world. Although even today, our price today is $90 a ton. That's really still low.
Yeah.
But we were able to negotiate a $30, $60, $90 per ton transition that I think has been beneficial for the city and frankly is till this day.
Nice. And it's nice to see that the community has latched on to the idea of dropping off glass to be recycled, and you've been able to increase the number of locations to do that. Absolutely.
That's been really a big surprise to our department, how popular that has been. We knew we were going to get some pushback when we said we're going to have to take glass out of our residential stream, and this was a good way to still provide the service. It's actually been great. It's worked out well, I think, on both sides, and like you said, the residents have really been enthusiastic about it.
Wonderful. So what would you say in all your years with the city have been your greatest accomplishments over the last 30 some odd years?
I think actually getting to put the field operations department together was a big accomplishment. Back in 2005, we took components of the transportation department, parks and recreation, and the environmental services department, and we combined them into what is now known as field operations, with the primary thought was to be able to be very nimble when it came to weather events and responding to big storms and what have you that, you know, over the years have proven to continue to hit Greensboro. I was able to actually work with department heads at the time. I was a division manager, and I got to go out to the department head and say, look, we're wanting to put this department together and let's figure out how to make it work. And I got to go through that process and eventually be the director, so that's probably my biggest accomplishment.
Well, congratulations with that.
Thanks.
Do you have any advice for the person who will come in to replace you? You take so much institutional knowledge with you, and you have all of the experience of the teamwork and different collaborative opportunities that you've had. What advice would you give your person coming in to replace you?
I think, you know, there are a lot of things, a lot of moving parts to this department, but at the end of the day, my experience has been that it's all about relationships with the public and your employees. You have to connect with your employees and help them understand that and develop a relationship where they're motivated to do that. So that would be my advice to the next director.
Okay, well, thank you, and congratulations on your retirement. I know that's a big step to take and a huge decision when you finally decide to pull the trigger, but thank you for the impressive years of service, and it's truly been a pleasure to work with you in the short time I've been here.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Dale. Stay tuned for some useful information about Greensboro as we tell you something about the city. That's coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to FYI Weekly. One way to stay informed about decisions that impact our city is by attending or tuning in to City Council meetings at 5:30 p.m. on the first and third Tuesday of the month. The fourth Tuesday is reserved for a meeting as needed. Due to COVID-19, the City Council is meeting virtually. The Greensboro City Council meetings are broadcast right here on GTN. The meetings are also streamed live on the city's website and on Roku. City Council meetings usually take place on Level 2 of the Melvin Municipal Office Building, located at 300 West Washington Street. To review the council meeting schedule and agendas, please visit the city's website. Here's an opportunity to learn a little something about the city. Thousands of COVID-19 vaccines are being administered free of charge in Greensboro thanks to the Federal Emergency Management Agency. FEMA is operating a vaccination center at Four Seasons Town Center 7 days a week for the next few weeks. Up to 3,000 vaccines are being administered daily. Appointments are required. Vaccines are free even to those without health insurance. A photo ID is not required to prove residency or citizenship. Choose between a drive-through in the parking lot and a walk-in option in the old Dillard's department store location. To reach more marginalized and underserved communities in Guilford and surrounding counties, the main vaccination center will support additional sites and mobile vaccine clinics in communities of need. The federal government is providing the center's vaccine supply, which is in addition to North Carolina's weekly allotment from the Centers for Disease Control. Appointments are available through a centralized system and with assistance from community partners to ensure access among our marginalized populations. To slow the spread of COVID-19 even after you've been vaccinated, when you're in public, continue to wear a mask, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands often. Visit yourspot.yourshot.nc.gov for accurate information about the variety of COVID-19 vaccines. Coming up after the break, we'll showcase our department spotlight, but first we have an important message about COVID-19.
Remember the 3 W's. Wear a cloth face mask covering, wait 6 feet from others, and wash your hands often. By working together, we can adjust to this new normal and continue to save lives.
Welcome back. The City of Greensboro has more than 20 departments and several divisions committed to serving you, our residents and visitors. Let's go behind the scenes in our department spotlight. Greensboro Parks and Recreation is accepting registration for summer day camps. There will be a reduced number of campers who must follow safety protocols in light of COVID-19. Due to smaller numbers, camp slots are likely to fill up quickly. Caregivers are encouraged to register now to secure a spot. All Stars Summer Day Camp is open to ages 6 to 12 and costs $160 per week. It's open from June 14th to August 13th, offering a variety of sports and games. Recreation Center Day Camp is open to ages 5 to 12 and costs $85 per week. It's open from June 14th to August 13th at 9 centers across the city, offering early morning drop-off hours and free lunch and breakfast. Families in need can request assistance to pay the registration fee. Camp Joy costs $65 per week and offers an inclusive summer camp experience for kids age 5 or older with a disability. Service Learning Camp gives high school students ages 15 to 18 hands-on experience with agencies focused on poverty. The camp costs $40. For more information about summer camps and to apply for summer jobs, visit the Parks and Recreation website. Straight ahead on the other side of the break is this week's Way to Go GSO shout out. Stay with us. As we draw to a close, we always want to end on a positive note with our Way to Go GSO shout out. This week's shout out goes to the Budget and Evaluation Department. The city's budget team received the National Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for its fiscal year 2020 budget. The award is presented by the Government Finance Officers Association. The award reflects the commitment by staff to meet the highest principles of governmental budgeting. Greensboro had to satisfy nationally recognized guidelines designed to address how well the city's budget serves as a policy document, a financial plan, an operations guide, and a communications device. Budgets must be rated proficient in all 4 categories and in the 14 mandatory criteria within those categories in order to receive the award. Please remember, as more places continue to open, wear your face covering, wait 6 feet apart, and wash your hands often. That concludes this edition of FYI Weekly, but you can easily stay connected to the latest city news by linking to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Alexa users can subscribe to our 5-minute flash briefings, which airs on 90.1 FM. Be sure to download our weekly podcast, Talk City Greensboro, and now GTN is streaming on Roku. For all of us here at the City of Greensboro, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.